Building massive pecs is a fairly straightforward process. Train a heavy horizontal press, like flat dumbbell, barbell, or machine press. Train a heavy incline press, like incline barbell, dumbbell, or machine press. Train a strict fly variation, like dumbbell, cable, or even a pec deck. And aim to keep solid technique and form while progressively loading weight over weeks, months, and years, keeping each rep and form standardized on each movement. That's literally it. But most people, they overlook this methodology in search for a fancy exercise, completely missing out on all the major benefits that these movements have. But what I want to talk about today, specifically, is the benefit of heavy progressive dumbbell presses for chest development. I've spoken extensively in the past about my preferences for barbell pressing, but I don't want people to misinterpret that as you should exclude everything else. People always like to hear X is the best exercise, and then they'll go on and use that one exclusively, claiming everything else is useless. That's definitely not the case, especially when it comes to barbell versus dumbbell training. In fact, one of the major benefits of dumbbell pressing is how well it complements barbell pressing. Barbells have always been my number one choice, but if you only do them, you're missing out. The name of the game is progression, and one of the best things that you can do to ensure progression long term is to progress on multiple exercises that have a carryover effect. Everyone knows that one guy in the gym that has an extremely impressive bench press, yet his chest development, it's not really up to par with a lot of bigger guys in the gym, some of them who can't even bench as much as him. In addition, this guy might have an impressive 1 rep max, but anything over 5 reps, he really can't handle much weight. There's many reasons for this. One of the major reasons is he probably only cares about his bench press, and more specifically, his 1 rep max. He's gotten very good at the technical aspect of the lift, and his skill level and efficiency for the movement is very high. But that's not always translating into more muscle mass. Now, take the guy that has a massive chest development. Maybe he doesn't even have as great of a 1 rep max on bench press. But if you put him to the test on his 5, 10, or 20 rep max, he's probably also able to move some serious weight on the incline press, the decline, or the close grip variation. He also probably can use some of the heaviest dumbbells in the gym. He's probably able to rep out 10 to 20 rep sets on multiple variations of dumbbell presses. The reason here is that he's built up his strength across all rep ranges, and he's built up his strength on a variety of different movements that all complement each other. It's those guys that can push heavy weight across all rep ranges and a variety of different angles and grips that have the best development. Get very strong for 10 to 15 reps on incline barbell press, and guess what? Your flat dumbbell press will increase as well. Train with heavy dumbbell presses, and guess what? Your close grip press will increase. The carryover effect of these exercises is one of the least discussed topics in lifting today. While many people just want to single out an exercise and label it as better or worse than others, you first need to look at the benefits that this exercise has to offer. If you determine that incline barbell press is the one exercise that you need to improve the most on to better your physique currently, and let's say the incline dumbbell press is a great movement to assist with that, dumbbell presses should absolutely be in your program. This is one of those cases where we can take something that we learned from powerlifters that has lots of application in bodybuilding. Powerlifters obviously need to increase their 1 rep maximum on the bench press, but ones who understand proper programming utilize assistance exercises. They understand that by including accessory movements like dumbbell presses, incline presses, close grip presses, that all of these movements will translate to a bigger bench press over time. The same applies to bodybuilding. The only difference is our goal is not a big 1 rep max, but rather being able to push some big numbers across all rep ranges. That's 5 to 20 repetitions across multiple movements. There are a few that I personally like. To cover the horizontal pressing, which will be to target the pecs as a whole, you have flat barbell bench presses, flat dumbbell bench presses, and close grip barbell presses. And if you have access to a good machine like a hammer strength press, feel free to use that. To cover the incline press or to hit more of the clavicular head of the pecs, I like traditional or even low incline barbell or dumbbell presses. And again, if you have a good machine, feel free to use it. And for full development of the pecs, you definitely want to train them in the stretch position using something like a fly movement. You should also definitely be using a variety of angles here. Flat and incline dumbbell flies, pec deck, and cable flies are all great options. Now, most people are going to ask, Pete, what about the lower pecs? Dips are definitely a great movement, but what I found over the years is that if you're covering all the other exercises that I listed previously, direct lower pec work is not always needed. It absolutely can be included, but keep in mind, dips also stress out the shoulders a bit for most people. And it's an exercise that I would advise you use carefully and only as needed. And if you want to get the most out of your training, you don't need to use every one of these exercises. Pick 2 to 4 that you really connect with well. Hammer them into the ground and then rotate them out of your training as you see fit. That'll keep the exercises from getting stale. That'll also keep any aches or pains away that can happen from overuse injuries. And over time, progress on all of them and watch the benefit of the carryover effect. But remember, don't make the mistake of thinking you need to do 100 exercises. Your goal is not to rack the machine at the hotel gym or the spa. Your goal is to lift some heavy weight on those big compound movements across all rep ranges. And if you want the exact programs that I personally recommend to build muscle using proven old school bodybuilding methods, all my old school mass game programs are down below. And as always, if you guys want to see more of the best original bodybuilding content just like this, make sure to hit subscribe.